that's a song recorded in 1958 by Link Wray called Rumble. Before I get into that, though, real quick, I want to say, okay, welcome back to day 4 of the Unleash Your Inner Guitar Hero Challenge, available on School right now, skool.com/Unleash Your Inner Guitar Hero. But this is part of a 30-day challenge to unleash your inner guitar hero on School right now. There we have weekly calls, like coaching calls, discussions about the material we're learning. I'm going to put PDFs in there. There's going to be other cool things that are happening in there. There's people from all over the world that get to be in this group. It's small, but it's growing, so come check it out and be a part of it. It's like $1 a month right now to join. That's going up here soon. In the meantime, this song was recorded in 1958 as an improvised song that Link Wray came up with. He was asked to play the Stroll in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and he improvised it on the spot. The sound of it, the signature sound of it, came from a mic being placed too close to the amp, and because of that, it was single-handedly credited as being the song that invented power chords like that, which are simple 2, 3, sometimes 4-note chords on the guitar that sound really powerful with some distortion. The song was originally called Oddball, but Phil Everly suggested it be called Rumble because it sounded like a street fight. Well, unfortunately, that wasn't the best idea, although it's still called that today, but because at the time, it was banned on all radio stations in the U.S. Rumble was the only instrumental single ever in the United States actually to be banned on the radio, and then it's been featured in films like Independence Day, Pulp Fiction, and Sopranos, but in 2018, it finally got its due when it was honored by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as an individual song. So this song is really simple. It's just got a few chords. One of them is this D chord, D sus2, which really just means it has an open E string. Normally with a D, you have your second finger on the high E string, 2nd fret. But this one, you're leaving that off and you're playing it open. And in fact, to give it a little added oomph, you're adding the A string underneath. And it adds a nice sound to it. So just first finger on the G string, 2nd fret, third finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, open A, open D, open E, and there you go. Your first chord, you play it twice, and then we go to an E. Now, the easiest way to go to an E is take that first finger and go to the 1st fret of the G string, 2nd finger on the A string, 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the D string, 2nd fret. It's an E chord. Now, if you're saying, all right, I know the E chord already, just show me the chords. Okay, well, so what it does is it does the D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, does it again, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, then it's going to go from the D to the A. Now the A is just 3 fingers, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd fingers usually, although there are other ways to play it on the D, G, and B strings. Okay, and that's a pretty simple chord to get, although some people struggle with just cramming all 3 of those fingers in there. If that's the case, you could use 2, 3, and 4. But the reason I use 1, 2, and 3 is because when I go from the D chord, my 3rd finger just slides down from the 3rd fret on the B string to the 2nd fret on the B string. Okay? And I can include that A string in there, all right, to just make it sound even more authentic. All right, now the next chord in this song is a 4-fingered chord known as B7. Now, don't let that intimidate you. I know a lot of times we run into a B or a B minor, B major, B minor, and they're like, oh, they're bar chords. Well, this one's not a bar chord, so you don't have to worry about that yet. We're actually going to get into bar chords later into the challenge. But for right now, 4 fingers, 2nd finger on the A, 2nd fret, 1st finger on the D, 1st fret, 3rd on the G, 2nd fret, and pinky on the high E string, 2nd fret. If that pinky bothers you, if it's hard to get it to stay there, if it's not weak or whatever, just take it off, don't even use it, but just try not to play the high E string. It still sounds really good. It won't sound as good with the open E string if you do that by accident. But then again, maybe you like it and it's okay, but it's not in the original. So again, don't worry about it if you can't use that pinky yet, or if you leave that pinky on and it just needs the string, that's okay too. All right. But then we're going to go back to the E. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. then actually though, we're actually going to play this pentatonic scale. Kind of played with a triplet feel. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. And take that third finger when you grab that low E string, 3rd fret, and give it a little bend. Okay. If any of these chords are new to you, or if you want a refresher on your guitar chords, I have a beginner course available also in my classroom on School that you get access to almost immediately after joining. So I got D chord, D sus2, with the open A string thrown in there for extra girth, if you will. Okay, and then it goes to the E. Now when I go from that D to the E, my first finger slides from the 2nd fret on the G string to the 1st fret. Makes a smooth transition. And you don't have to worry about strumming patterns, because all you got to do is this. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now the reason I count that way is because that's the count for the song, the rhythm of the song. So when you hit it, this is 3, 4, 1. And so the next few beats are 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2. There's 2 more beats. And then you start over again. 3, 4, 1, 2. Next time, it's going to go to the A chord. Now I just take that 3rd finger and slide it from the 3rd fret of the B to the 2nd fret of the B, putting the other 2 fingers on the 2nd fret of the D string and G string. And there's your A chord. 1, 2, and then we do it again. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then we do B7. Now B7 is a 4-finger chord. This is not to be confused with B major or B minor, that are often bar chords that can be scary for some people or intimidating or hard to master. This is a simple 4-finger chord. It does take some experience to get 4-finger chords. Again, I have that beginner guitar course where I take you from 1-finger, 2-finger, 3-finger, 4-finger guitar chords in my classroom on School. And so you've got this 4-finger B7, 2nd finger on the A string 2nd fret, 1st on the D 1st fret, 3rd on the G 2nd fret, and pinky on the high E string 2nd fret. However, I will say you can take that pinky off if it's not cooperating. Just try not to play the high E string. It still sounds good that way. If you play the high E string, it doesn't sound as good, but it can still work. And you definitely want to most likely not play the low E string. That doesn't sound as good. I usually mute it with the nail of the top part of my 2nd finger there. Okay? It really sounds better with that pinky. Do what you got to do to make this work. And then after that, there's a little scale that happens. This is an E minor pentatonic scale, 5-note scale. It starts at the top of the scale, goes down in triplets. Triplet, 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 open. Okay. Now that little just before the last note, I play a G 3rd fret on the low E string, and I bend it to a little bit, or add a little vibrato to it for a little added growl. Okay. And then you go back to the D, to the E chord, all right, and then you repeat it, okay? All right, so there is a little section in there later on in the song. I've had students say that they have a hard time with this particular section, although the rest of it was really easy. This little thing right here, really, it's just a few notes, 2, 3, it's just a top part of basically like an E chord, but just up here on the 13th, 12th, and 12th frets of the top 2 strings. Okay, and you're just strumming really fast. Okay, and you're sliding in. Now, if that's hard for you to play like that, it's basically like a tremolo pick, but on 3 strings at the same time. Start on 1 string, then 2, and then 3. Okay, and just practice keeping that wrist really loose and letting it almost like flicking water off of it. And that's a really good part of the song to practice your tremolo picking or fast picking on 3 strings. Okay, now back to this scale. That's actually our warm-up today, this E minor pentatonic scale, 5 notes, penta being 5 notes, and it's E, G, A, B, D, E, and then repeats G, A, B, D, E, G. Now he just does the descending version. And in fact, you're really playing triplets. Triplet, 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 open, okay? But what I do is, so triple, but with that vibrato, bend, it just adds a little character to it. You don't have to put that in there. He puts a little bend on there, but it's completely up to you whether you want to do that or not. It does, like I said, add a little character to it. But the two biggest things I want you to get out of this lesson are, number one, the chords. We talked about how to transition from the D to the E, and from the D to the A. Now the B7 is a little bit more challenging on its own because it's a 4-finger chord. However, with all of these chords, and this one especially included, I want you to practice just lifting the fingers off as one unit and putting them back down as one unit. That's hugely important. Okay, that's number one. The other thing I want you to practice then is the scale. And the way you can practice, at first you can do actually all downstrokes if you want to. Okay, I find that the hand moves more that way. But the other thing you can practice is going all up. It's a little bit more challenging. Okay, but I encourage you then, after you practice with downstrokes and upstrokes, to practice what's called alternate picking, which is simply down, up, 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 down, up. Okay, I'll give you more stuff to do with this scale in a later lesson, okay, as part of this 30-day challenge that we're on right now. And in fact, tomorrow's lesson is going to build upon this a little bit more, so come back for that one, all right? And then today's mindset hack is simply that every new chord or riff that you're learning may seem challenging at first, but trust in the daily practice. Embrace each step. You're building a rock solid foundation. And that's the whole point of this, is to give you a rock solid foundation with skills from day one of how to build up your ability to play the guitar one step at a time. Like I said, the first 2 days were fun riffs, but I showed you in that first one how to take a simple riff and played it in 3 different places. Okay, and then the other one was a blues bass riff. Day tripper, right? Okay, and then the third one was a chord riff of simple chords D, C add 9, and G. Okay, all right. And if those chords are challenging for you, please go check out my beginner course available on school right now, skool.com. And now, today is these chords of D to E, D to A, B7, and this E minor scale, E minor pentatonic scale, 5-note scale. All right, so practice those things for next time, and I will see you then. Bye for now.